Well, it is the Friday of spring break, and I'm in my dorm room again. But that has nothing to do with what I'm about to tell you. I think. We'll see. Anyways, my spring break started off last weekend when I went to my cabin in the woods on Swan Lake, and it was awesome. I loved it. It started off with Kyle and I going down to Hamilton, and actually we had Hooters for dinner that day, and his two friends were there. One is his roommate, and the other was a friend from Hamilton. His roommate has no self-control. It was so funny. Hanging out with them was great. And then Saturday we go up to Swan, and it was awesome. Driving from Polson to Big Fork was fantastic. Like, going up 35, I don't really have a problem going up that highway, specifically since it was all clear and everything. But Kyle hadn't seen Flathead at all, I think. I don't think he saw Flathead, but it was just gorgeous. He took pictures. It was sunny. Like, the lake was gorgeous and blue. The sky was blue. Oh, the sunshine was out. It was so pretty. And he told me that he loves this place. Like, he likes this part of the state. And then when we get to my cabin, you should have seen his face. Oh my goodness. He looked like a kid in a candy store. He was so happy. He had this, like, bewildered face on. And then, you know what he started to do? He started to complain about my cabin because it wasn't rustic enough for him. It wasn't too backwoods country. Like, we are pretty well off if I could live there. Like, when the weather's nice, there's going to be running water. Like, we have electricity. We have a stove. I don't know, like, well, that'll be the set. Fridge, like, the full amenities are there. It's definitely not camping. So he was making a real fuss about that. And I'm like, you know what? Just be happy you're here, okay? We had a great time. It was fantastic. And then Sunday we come back. So we only spent one night there, which was kind of sad, but completely understandable because he had a lot of homework to do. And then, so Sunday we come back. Monday, I'm here by myself, and I was really bored. I went and got gas, because I went to Bozeman Tuesday. I'm trying to remember what I really don't remember what I did Monday. I do remember sleeping in. No. Okay, I do remember. Monday I treated myself to breakfast. I went to IHOP by myself. And I had a crepe, sunny side eggs, hash browns, and sausage, and it was delicious. And then Tuesday was the day that I left for Bozeman, and I woke up, left around 11, arrived at around 2 to 3. It took me about 3 hours to get there, but I was pretty much, you know what, this is fun. I like road tripping because then I can sing at the top of my lungs, and no one can give me crap about it because I'm by myself. So I had no problem. I got to meet Greer's boo, and he is fantastic for her. That's all I got to say. He was great. And we actually did, since it was April Fool's, we did a prank. We went, because he leaves the door unlocked in his house, or his roommate's, excuse me. So we went into his room, picked it up, short-sheeted his bed, flipped every single book and DVD upside down, crookeded his pictures in his bathroom, and hid one of each of his shoes. Oh, and we also turned around the hangers in all his closet space. So that was fun. And then I have dinner with her parents, and they're super chill. Like, I like her parents a lot. And then we actually spend the night at Ryan's that night. Originally, it was going to be I was spending the night at her parents' house the first night, and then the second evening I'd be spending at Ryan's, but that didn't happen because he had a concert. So it's technicalities. So we spent the night at Ryan's the first night. And we watched Firefly, which is actually a pretty cool show. Like, I've never even heard of it, and I like it now. I'll probably get into it later. But then we go to bed, because he's got work in the morning, and Greer and him sleep on their bed, and they're friends. They're much more lenient than I am when it comes to, like, cuddle puddles. They like cuddle puddles. I'm not really into that. So I was like, yeah, put me on the couch. I'm not going to sleep with you guys in the bed. So they slept, and then I slept on the couch, and it was cold, and I get cold when I sleep pretty easily. So there was just some fun text messages exchanged between Kyle and I about heaters, because at the lake we kind of blew the fuse the fuse for the bedroom we were in probably like 3 times because we had 2 heaters on because it was really cold. So we were making fun about that. And then the next morning, we get up pretty early because Ryan had to go to work. So we go back to Greer's house, have breakfast, fall right back asleep. Wake up at around 11. She takes me downtown. I go and I buy 2 books from the local bookshop. And at first, as I'm walking into the bookshop, I'm like, yeah, this is okay, kind of cool. And then I get to the nature and science section, and I'm just like, bam, this is my stuff. I like this. I see a book about how dogs became the dogs from domestication of wolves. And then I see how water is super important in the world. And there were some books that I was, like, there was one that I was trying to find. I was trying to remember from Flathead, or no, not Flathead, Glacier National Park. We were up at Logan Pass. At that section, there was a book about snow leopards, or there was like an inkling of the author of the book of snow leopards. And I was trying to look for that one, but I didn't find it. I find Animal Dialogues by Craig Childs, excuse me, and it's about this man's interaction with predatory animals. He was with whether recalling the experience of being chased through the Grand Canyon by a bighorn sheep, or swimming with sharks off the coast of British Columbia, of watching a peregrine falcon perform acrobatic stunts at 200 miles per hour, or engaging in a tense face-off with a mountain lion near a desert waterhole. He captures all of that in this book, and it's talking about nature and how humans and animals interact, like, or how they should react, and how the animal world functions, which is just like, if anyone knows me, yes, I want. So, I bought this. And then I went and asked the clerk, because I was kind of curious about this book that I got for the paper that's due on Tuesday about the wildland urban interface and whether local government should regulate home building within that, because that's where the city versus the high risk wildfire areas coincide. And the book that I got for that was called Young Men and Fire by Norman Maclean, because it was mentioned in one of the articles that I've used for sources. And originally I had loaned this book from the library at school, but had to return it. But I really wanted to finish it because I couldn't. So I bought that, and I like it because it's about the 1949 fire at the Mann Gulch in Montana that killed, I'm pretty sure, 15 smoke jumpers. And it's a good read. And hopefully when my dad has time, I want him to read it. It's just, I like it. And I've heard that Norman Maclean is actually a really good author. I didn't know about that until I got this book, since I started reading this book. And then, so, we get back from the bookstore, we go and we have pizza and movie night with Greer's mom. And we watch Star Trek Into Darkness. I am totally a Trekkie fan. My dad raised me off of Star Trek. He would watch The Next Generation and all that stuff. And then this movie, oh my gosh, it's so good. I love it. Not to mention the fact that I was a little alcohol because Greer made margaritas, which were delicious. But regardless, oh my goodness, the movie is so good. I wonder if my parents have seen it. If not, we're watching it, we're seeing it, we're renting it, we're doing something. And then, so the evening, Greer and I go up to a room, we watch Monsters, Inc., we fall asleep to Monsters, Inc., which means I turn it off. And then the next morning we wake up pretty chill. We go and have lunch with her parents, like her whole family. Her dad gets her brother out of school. Her mom has lunch, and her dad doesn't work because he does work. He's a bartender, but so that means he works at night. And we go and get breakfast at Starkey's, which is one of Greer's friends' parents own, because their last name is Stark, so it's called Starkey's. And in the menu it says Ben's grilled cheese, whatever. That's Greer's friend. So it's kind of cool that we got to go to one of her affiliates, or one of her friends' family-owned restaurant. And I got fish and chips. Like, it was Alaskan cod, so it wasn't that great, but oh my, it was flaky. It was delicious. It was beer batter and like fries. Oh, I was pleasantly full after that. Oh my goodness. And I was going to pay for my food, but they were like, no, we got this. I didn't have to pay for any of my food when I was in Bozeman. Greer's family is amazing. And her dad is so cool. Like, at the end of the lunch, he's like, make sure you get my information from Greer before you leave, because if anything happens, we're only a couple hours away. And I was like, I feel so deeply honored about this. That is fantastic. So I got his information. I said goodbye to Greer. And I get back to Missoula, like I'm driving back to Missoula, no problem, and my car is dirty. So I get a car wash. I needed a car wash. So I get one, and I feel good. Then I come back, and I don't know, it's just kind of been a fun time. Oh, I also got a gift from Greer, but I'm not showing anyway because it's pretty personal, and I really appreciate the fact that she gave it to me. And so I come back, and then I was planning on doing some of my homework yesterday, but that didn't happen. I stayed and watched Big Bang, played solitaire, just hung out with myself. I had some hot chocolate, like, and then, let's see, today, I woke up pretty late, I was feeling pretty good, but today was my paper day. Like, I was going to get my paper done. At least the rough draft of it, because there's always going to be revisions and proofreading and all that stuff. And I think I finally figured out my writing process, because writing has always been very, very, very difficult for me. So I get up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get breakfast, I'm going to go get coffee, and I'm going to go spend a couple hours at the coffee shop figuring out what I need to do. So I go to the break, because it's more of like a study area rather than Liquid Planet. So I go to the break, I get the coffee, breakfast, and I start figuring out my paper. Like, the first thing, before break, I had to talk to the professor to figure out my organization and what I was going to do. And I got that figured out. So it's been over a week since I visited what I was going to write about. And so I'm okay, the first thing I gotta do, come up with the sentences for my reasoning. That becomes my thesis. Then I write my thesis. Or no, I come up with the sentences for my reasoning, which go into my thesis. Then I read all the material and figure out what evidence can go towards each sentence. And then I write my thesis, which is the first paragraph. And then I go back because it's been like an hour or 2.5. It's only been like an hour or 2 hours. So I go back to school. And I go sit in the study lounge, and I write the first, like, body section of the paper based on all the evidence. Oh, and I also write my conclusion before I leave the break. So I do the first sentences, figure out the evidence, write the first paragraph and the last paragraph, and it's worked phenomenally for me. Like, so far, my rough draft is probably the best that I've ever done, and I am actually really excited about this paper. I'm gonna have a bunch of my friends read it and go over it, and have my dad and my mom read it, because they're coming! They're going to be here tomorrow morning! I am so excited to see my family! Oh my gosh! And then my brother is going to annoy the crap out of me, but I don't care. He's going to give me this big, huge, old hug and have this giant smile plastered on his face. And it's just going to be great. And then, I don't know, I got to think of things to do with my family while they're here. I got to clean the room, because again, it's messy, and I got to do all this stuff, but my spring break was fantastic, and I did most of the planning all by myself. Like, I feel pretty good about this, and I'm excited for my family to be in town. So that was my spring break, my adventures, and I hope that yours, because a bunch of people, like, the Centers is this week now. So, to all the people back home who watch this, or don't, I hope you enjoy your spring break, because it's going to be fantastic. And to all those coming back from spring break, welcome back. Alrighty, see you later. Bye.